The motion picture industry is a collaboration. It takes a lot of different people, filling a lot of different roles in order to produce a film. One such role, and in my opinion the most important role, is that of the writer. The writer's responsibility is to take an idea and to make it a compelling story. It's from his story, or the screenplay, that everyone else, including the director, will eventually take their cues. No amount of acting, directing, or special effects can hide a poorly told story. That's not to say that the script can't or won't be changed during production. Some of the greatest cinematic moments in movie history were completely improvised by the film's director or by its actors. It just means that the writer is the one who gets the ball rolling and builds the framework for everyone else. One of the greatest writers in the industry is William Goldman. Goldman has written or consulted on dozens of projects and has given us some of the most memorable movie scenes ever filmed. To be a writer, you must first be a reader. You must be a lover of the written word. You also must have good command of the basics, such as language and grammar. Lastly, to be a good writer, you must have an imagination. To quote Hemingway, imagination is the one thing beside honesty that a good writer must have. Another important role in filmmaking is that of the script supervisor. Film and television are often shot out of order, which can create continuity problems later on when the film or the show are put together in their proper order. This is where the script supervisor comes in. It's their responsibility to make sure that the transitions from one shot to another are seamless and make visual or verbal sense. For example, in this scene from It's a Wonderful Life, James Stewart walks into his office carrying a wreath around his arm. He immediately takes a phone call, but you'll notice he places the wreath on the desk behind him. In the next shot, however, the wreath is back on his arm. That would have been the role of the script supervisor to prevent scenes like that from happening. Doris Grau was a script supervisor from 1967 to 1985. She worked on several films, but perhaps the two that stand out to me the most are Point Blank and a childhood favorite of mine, the 1970s King Kong. Eventually, she broke into acting and played several roles of her own before passing away in 1995 at 71. To be a good script supervisor, you need to have an attention to detail. You must be able to stay alert and focused during long days of shooting. You must be organized and keep detailed notes. A good script supervisor will also be a good communicator. There are many roles in the motion picture industry. All of them are important. But without the writer, there would be no story to tell. And without a script supervisor, the finished product would leave audiences confused.